Man City go to St James's Park and win 2-0 last night. It was as easy as getting a free ticket to Wembley as you can get. City played so well yesterday. City played so well. And before I get into that, I want to get the negative out of the way, which is VAR. Whoever was operating VAR last night, I've not looked at the names, hang your heads in shame, because it should never, ever, ever, in any circumstance, take 5.5 minutes to make a decision on an offside. It was disgraceful. When people say VAR is killing the game, I don't actually think it's VAR that's killing the game. It's the people that are operating it. They're so incompetent. After the 1 minute mark, after the 1.5 minute mark, maybe it gets to 2 minutes, you say to yourself at that point, you say, right, this is so difficult, it's so close that it's taken us this long to figure out whether it's offside or not. There's your clue that it's not offside. I've still looked at the pictures after the game and just looked at them and still can't decipher whether it's offside or not. That's how close it is. They must have had to zoom in so much into the photo that they were actually looking at maybe a few pixels, right? Like, oh, there's a pixel there, which is Haaland's boot, and that's ahead of this guy. Mate, ridiculous. Honestly, ridiculous. It was shambolic. A really terrible decision. And the fact it took that long was disgraceful, especially for a beautiful goal from Semenyo to make it a second in the night. And he's a beautiful footballer. Let's be honest. This guy is so scary. The fact that he's come in 2 games into his Man City career and he scored 3 goals. I'm going to say 3 goals because that should have been a goal. But yeah, 2 goals realistically he scored. And yeah, I'm so excited to keep watching this guy. So he played on the right for most of the game, and Doku played on the left. And these two are really looking like flipping Sané and Sterling in their prime. I'm really excited to continue watching these two for the rest of the season, and I really hope they continue to play together, which I think they will. Jeremy Doku as well. For me, he was one of my man of the matches alongside the likes of Semenyo. I can't actually choose one because everyone was so good last night for Manchester City. But Jeremy Doku, I just want to take a minute to talk about how improved he is from last season. Now, I was hearing last season that a lot of City fans, a lot of pundits, a lot of rival fans telling me Jeremy Doku needs to be sold in the summer transfer window. He's not good enough for Manchester City. This guy's ceiling is so high, and anybody who knows me or watches the channel regularly will know how highly I rate and have rated Jeremy Doku. This kid moves like nobody else, and now he's added that ball into the box that's really dangerous as well, and it's looking so good. Yeah, this guy's really added a string to his bow with those crosses because he put in a few yesterday and it really looked good. And I think Semenyo has actually levelled up that whole front three and even the midfield. It looks like he's really added a boost in there, which is so good to see. And sometimes a player can do that. Sometimes a player can come in January where it's feeling a little bit flat and they just bring the level up, and that's what Semenyo's done for Manchester City so far. Alleyne and Kushnov, these lot have not put a foot wrong since they started playing centre back together. Alleyne, mate, take your flowers, bro. Take a bow. This kid is really good, and I really want him to stay at Manchester City for a long time. I'm not going to try and gas him too much. A lot of people will look at a player who's had a few decent games and say, yeah, this kid's the truth. But it's not even just that for me. It's the way he holds himself, his composure, his confidence, his calmness on the ball. He looks like a professional that's won the lot. He looks like he's won the flipping treble, and then he's come into the team. He looks like a 27-year-old man. You know what I mean in terms of on the ball and how good he looks and how composed he is. I'm so impressed with him, and I was so nervous when he came back from Watford and thinking about Kushnov and Alleyne together, but to be honest, if those two were playing in Diaz and Gvardiol's bodies, I would not have noticed a difference. I can't lie, I really wouldn't. They've been that solid for Manchester City over the past couple of games, and I think that's going to continue to persist in the next couple of games. I can't see them really much weaknesses in their games from what I've seen. Kushnov as well, absolutely unreal. Again, not really put a foot wrong since he's come back into the squad. I really like this kid, and I can see why City signed him for such money in January last season. Really good. Nico O'Reilly, the kid is unreal. Guardiola puts him into the midfield in the DM position. He's obviously a natural midfielder, But considering he's barely played there for Manchester City in the men's first team, he was so good. Again, so calm, composed, poised. And I don't know why he doesn't get the plaudits that Lewis Skelly was getting last season, because everyone was telling me Lewis Skelly was the flipping truth and all this. Mate, Nico O'Reilly is so good. Even when he's been playing at left back, I mean, the whole season he's been so solid for City. He actually looks like one of the senior players that's been in the side for years. Obviously, he's not that, but he looks like it, and you can see why people are saying that this kid could be the future captain of Manchester City. I really like him. That's all I can say, really. He's quality, absolutely quality. He's been a mainstay in the squad all season. You can see that Pep Guardiola really likes this kid, and when Pep Guardiola is putting his trust in the likes of Nico O'Reilly and Max Alleyne, you know they're going to be solid players. So yeah, massive credit to Alleyne and Kushnov and Nico O'Reilly for doing what they've done over the past couple of games. Obviously more Kushnov and Alleyne, but Nico O'Reilly for the course of the season has been absolutely unreal. Foden. I also want to just quickly touch on Nico O'Reilly's little spat with Joe Linton. Nico O'Reilly, mate, what is going on in your head, mate? Because I would never look at Joe Linton and think, yeah, you know what? Let me give this guy a little shove. Let me wind him up. What was going on there? What was, like, Joe Linton looks like a flipping ex-convict that's about to murder you. That's what he looks like. And you don't want to make this guy angry when you're playing against him on the pitch, right? I certainly wouldn't anyway. Nico O'Reilly goes up to this guy. He basically gives him a slap. He basically gives Joe Linton a slap. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. But to be honest, I quite liked the tastiness of that game. I think Newcastle are a team that gives it a lot to other teams' paws. You know, they like to rough you up. And I think City gave it them back last night. I really think we also roughed them up as much as they did us. And I'd like to maybe see that a little bit more coming from Manchester City, because these types of teams, Sunderland, Newcastle, they unsettle you because of their physical presence, and maybe they leave a bit on you. They unsettle teams, and I'd maybe like to see a little bit more of that from Manchester City. Pep Guardiola's not that kind of manager, but listen, if it works, it works. And last night we matched them for that physicality and aggression, which was great to see. The next person I want to talk about is Bernardo Silva. If you've seen my TikToks, I've been saying stop hating on Bernardo Silva. Last night he was just solid again. I think he's been solid for the past 3-4 games, and yeah, people aren't ready to talk about that, because as soon as City go into a bit of a rut, to City fans go, let's try and find someone to scapegoat. And unfortunately, Bernardo Silva's been the face of Manchester City's flatness over the course of those 3 draws we picked up against Sunderland, Chelsea and Brighton. So yeah, credit to Bernardo Silva, because he was quality last night, I thought. But yeah, Rodri comes into the fold, as well as Reinders and a few other players. Aït-Nouri. City makes some very good substitutions. I think like maybe halfway through the second half. And yeah, obviously they were solid. Rodri comes into the fold, solid. I think maybe he's just trying to give him some minutes before we go into the game against Manchester United, which I'll talk about later. Cherki and Aït-Nouri, mate, these two, absolutely quality. Cherki, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he's a magician. He's like a mini little David Silva. I love him. I really do. I think he's class. He's got the flair and the flicks and the tricks and the silkiness of Riyad Mahrez as well. And also Arsenal take on Brentford. I can't remember whether that's at home or away. But yeah, that'll be a tough game for Arsenal. Please like, comment, share and subscribe if you've made it to the end of this video. It massively helped me out. Yeah, it really helps me out more than you can imagine. So yeah, thank you for watching to the end of this video, and I'll see you lot in a bit.